Welcome to Optimal Frequency. I'm Grant. I talk to spirits here at my house using sources of white noise. We are right in the middle of investigating a case that happened in 1908. Two brothers, actually three, first went out to the Nahanni Valley. They were searching for gold. They went back home because the first trip turned out to be a bit of trouble for them, let's put it that way. Rapids and destroyed their boat, lost their treasure. So they decided to go back, but the third brother said, nah, too much work. I'm going to stay back in the city. You guys go ahead. 2 years later, nobody's heard from these two brothers, Frank and William McLeod. So the third brother sets out with the RCMP. They find the bodies. They are headless. What was that area like in Nahanni Valley in 1908? Did you find lots of gold up in there? Was there evil in that valley? From Telegraph Creek they crossed Dease Lake and the Continental Divide, not an easy path to take. Down the Dease River, then along the Liard, finally up the Hilland. They'd been mushing quite hard. At last they had made it, those three brothers bold, to the Grand Flat River where there was rumored to be gold. They fixed up old sluice boxes that were lying all around, and sluiced and panned all day and night till shiny nuggets they found. Once they found their riches, they built themselves a boat. Didn't matter what it looked like, as long as it could float. They pushed off down Flat River, which despite its soothing title, was known for dangerous rapids where a good canoe was vital. The cascade of the 13 steps was more than just some waves. By the 13th step, and there was nothing left of the McLeod's boat to be saved. Their scow was destroyed, and to their great displeasure, they were left with but a rifle and not a hint of their treasure. Was it a hard lifestyle back in 1908? Can you tell us something about traveling by dog sled? So just in case you're not familiar with why I would ask a question like that, because really who cares about traveling by dogs, right? I mean, I do to an extent, but the real reason I ask a question like that every so often is because I want them to say, like, sled or something about dogs, which they did. That proves to me we're talking to somebody intelligent that's responding to the question that I just asked them. And yes, they're in the moment, they're having a conversation with me, and so chances are they're telling the story that I want to hear from this guy that was back in 1908. So that's why I throw out some questions sometimes that you might be like, well, why would Grant ask that? Were the people that you met on your journey overall good? Did it feel like an adventure at the time? Rifle in hand, they hiked back upriver to pan some more gold, though they only got a sliver. They built a new boat, and this time knowing better, portaged round the Cascades, not getting any wetter. They returned to the city and started to plan a second trip to the north and more gold to pan. Charlie, of course, being the older, wiser brother, decided not to come and was replaced by another. His mysterious replacement was a Scottish engineer. They never even knew his name, maybe Wilkinson or Weir. Off they went Nahanni bound, for better or for worse. Not long thereafter, they caught Dead Man Valley's awful curse. But Charlie didn't worry until waiting 2 more years, when he mounted a search party to help allay his fears. He searched high and low with the help from RCMP, and found the remains which weren't pleasant to see. Why did Charlie not go on the second trip? Who was the Scottish engineer? Was the Scotsman friendly, or did he backstab you? Did your brother Charlie have anything to do with your deaths? Did Charlie in fact go with you on that second trip, but he lied about it? The bodies were headless and what was left was rotten, but strangest of all, there was no sign of the Scotsman. The only clue left was carved into the wood. It read, "We found a fine prospect," not that it did them any good. As you can see, the MacLeod's deaths are a mystery. Perhaps if we try, we can fill this gap in history. Was the police report right? Did they die of starvation? If that was true, does it explain decapitation? Or maybe it was bloodthirsty headhunting Naha folks, but quite frankly, my friends, that sounds like a hoax. Perhaps the Scotsman shot them down and fled to Vancouver. Is that what he was? A murderer and looter? Could it have been a wild beast, a bear or Wolverine, that killed Charlie's brothers and picked the bones clean? Whatever the truth, there's no doubt in my mind. Gold on the Nahanni is better left behind. Who or what killed the two of you? Okay, see, now that is an answer I was not expecting, and it is super clear, and it makes 100% sense. I totally was expecting some paranormal, oh, the monster did this, the ghost did that, whatever, right? The headless tribesman came for us. Whatever the case may be, but it makes perfect sense. They're stalked by a cougar, the cougar kills them. You ever have a cat that eats a bird and just takes the head, or a mouse and leaves the carcass there? I've seen that lots of times. So maybe this cougar ate their heads. By the time Charlie comes with the RSMP 2 years later looking for them, of course there's no tracks left, the bodies are all rotten, decomposed, you can't tell what happened, just the heads are missing. Why were your bodies headless when you were found? Did man or beast do this to you? What happened to the Scotsman? So that's twice now they've told us the Scotsman was a wonderful person. He would do them, and I got cut off on the last message, but either do them no harm or do them no wrong. I'm sure that's what they were trying to say. I think this is the important message from this session. For the first time in a week, I've got chills right now as I'm saying that. So for over 100 years now, the question has been, did this guy turn on them? The answer is no. They need to get that out there. The truth of this will clear up their legacy. That dude had nothing to do with them. They were killed by a mountain lion. That's it. Rest in peace, Mr. Scotsman. All right, thank you, the McLeod brothers, William and Frank. Do you have a message for any of our viewers today? If so, please state their name and leave them a message. Sending out some lights. Love, peace, joy, and adventure to you viewers. We'll catch you guys in the next adventure.